Mr. Bullard, my old boss. It's so sad. Do you have any idea what might have happened? Or is there anyone that might have wanted him dead? Oh yeah, sure. Mr. Bullard was the type of guy who made lots of enemies. He did lots of threatening things to people. Wait. Do you mean he scared people, or that he threatened them with blackmail? Well, I guess they're kind of the same, right? Oh, yes and no. Which one is it? Isn't he great? I wish I could be half as cool as him. Besides, he's the only one that really believed me when I said I was the thief. Hey, hang on a second. This is the guy that had you arrested for murder. Well, I still don't think that makes him a bad person. What in the world do you see in that coffee-crazed prosecutor? What do you think about this? No, he doesn't know Larry Butts. Which is weird, because he knew them. Doesn't know anything about Adrian Andrews. Desi, she really has a thing against criminals. Do you have any idea why that is, Mr. Delight? Well, if you want to know the details, you'll have to ask her. Thing is, after I lost my job at KB Security, I needed to earn money to keep Desi satisfied. Lots of money. But I just couldn't seem to find a good job. That's why I wound up becoming a thing that Desi hates the most, a thief. He's an ace detective, all right. He's been hot on my trail ever since the first heist. Yes, but he made a pretty stunning confession in court today. It was me all along. I masked the mask. I don't know what to say. I guess he's just delusional. That's exactly what your wife says about you. Once I decided to become a thief, I started studying like crazy. Studying? Like what? Petty Larceny 101, the history of pilfering? No, but I watched a lot of movies and read a lot of novels about great thieves. Oh yeah, I admire you for doing your homework, if nothing else. All the great ones had their own trademarks, flashy costumes, calling cards, unique laughs and catchy slogans like, "Farewell, my friends." I figured I needed to do a good job with that if I was going to make a splash. I guess you really can't say goofy stuff like that unless you're a master thief. Farewell, or we shall meet again, you know? Hokey stuff like that. This is the detective that was in charge of the Mask investigations. He was so happy when I surrendered yesterday that he actually shed tears of joy. What? Gumshoe cried? Really? Was it a single manly tear, or did he lose it and sob? Sobbed. I started weeping myself too. It was truly infectious. A truly moving moment, if I do say so myself. That must have been one heck of a beautiful scene. If beauty is in the eye of the beholder, I'm convinced these two are blind. I'm ashamed to admit it, but sometimes I wonder if I'm really cut out to be a thief. Well, isn't it obvious? It doesn't suit you at all. Ugh. I knew it. I guess I'm not the only one who came to that conclusion. What do you think about this? Doesn't know about Pearl. I'm sorry. I suppose you could say I'm nothing but a terrible lowlife. Why do you say that? This is the first time I've ever had to actually face a victim of one of my crimes. And again, he's talking about the sacred urn, but he didn't steal it. Yeah, she got through to him. Yeah, but I thought that you weren't the one who stole the urn. That's true about the urn, I guess. Maybe I should give up this life of crime and try to become a professional cowbell player. Cowbell! Or cowbell! What do you know about this? I don't really think I can help you with that. No, that's not it. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. A great lawyer and so young, you really are an inspiration. I bet you make lots and lots of money, don't you? That doesn't sound right coming from a thief, you know what I mean? Alright, well, we've asked him about all that. Let's talk now. Mr. Delight, do you still insist that you are Masque de Masque? Isn't that what I've been saying since yesterday? That was a quick response. Tell me about it. To be honest, I'm starting to get irritating. But listen, Mr. Delight, at the trial today we learned the true identity of the thief, didn't we? Take a good look, everyone. Unable to find a rival worthy of my genius, I was forced to create one by myself. Here I am as the tragic clown. I guess it's true. I wasn't the one who stole that urn. Of course not. After all, you were at KB Security at the time. So then the person dressed up as Masque de Masque in this photo, it's got to be Detective Atme. Oh yeah, he was crazy, Deepus. He really was. That guy was weird. So that night you didn't go to Lordly Taylor, you went to KB Security. Yeah, I went to KB Security at the time of the blackmail note said I should. Alright, what happened next? Well, I used to work there, so I knew where the CEO's office was. I knocked, but there was no answer. So I used the key card and unlocked the door. That's probably when he dropped his wallet. That's exactly what I said, Davis, as well. I said there's no way he fits that nose in that mask unless he bends it backwards up his face like that, you know. Oh, we came up with this crazy idea that there's like a little pocket dimension in there and his nose just fits into like a micro black hole. When I went into the CEO's office, someone else was there. Someone? Then suddenly they bashed me over the head. Bam. Okay, here we go. Was it Kane Bullard that hit you? I don't know. The person ran away while I was still stunned. When I came to my senses, the sight I saw left me speechless. So here's what I'm still gonna say, that I bet the sword was used to hit the guy. I think that's what was happening. The sword was used to hit him, and then he took it back to the basement. Because he said 30 minutes later he then called the police after being knocked out in the basement. That was his original cover story. Atme, the detective. That would have been enough time for him to drive back there, then call the police after setting the scene up. And then he would have taken the urn, making it look like that was supposed to be the theft, you know, the object of theft. Because he now had this broken, bent sword he had no use for. Because the sword would have been infinitely more valuable, surely. That looks like a proper relic instead of that cracked urn. That seems so unlikely. Maybe, but you never know. We'll see. The dead body of the CEO was right there in front of me. I thought I'd die. Anyway, I thought I should do something with the body. So you stuffed it in the safe? So that's why you put it in the safe? Yes, that's right. So that would be my first instinct too. Found a dead body, I should probably put it in the safe. I used to be the chief of one of the security teams, so I knew how to open it. Okay, and what did you do after that? Well, I got out of there for starters. I was the one who set up the security cameras in that building. So I knew how to avoid being spotted by them. Nick? All of a sudden, Mr. Delight kind of sounds like a murderer to me. Please don't say that. So why were you fired? Mr. Delight, is it true that only 1 year ago you were forced to quit KB Security? How did you... I'm begging you, please don't tell Desi. Please. Don't worry, we haven't told anyone yet. Ooh, thank goodness. No, I suppose I have to tell her sometime. She'll find out eventually. Why have you been hiding it from her anyway? Desi would despise me if she ever found out I was living a life of crime. A criminal, a thief, she'd never forgive me. my marriage would be over. Knowing that, why did you become a thief in the first place? Because Desi spends money like it's water. There's no job in the world that could bring in enough money. Except being a thief, at least. That's what I thought anyway. So he became Master Mas for Desiree, huh? This blackmail letter, is this the first you've got? No, of course not. But a security chief did. Yeah, it's like, did he earn enough money then? Interesting. I don't know how long they've been married though. I get the feeling that they've been married not much longer than that, because he was working for KB Security when they met. So I guess maybe, yeah. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Maybe her expensive appetites didn't manifest until more recently. No, of course not, but this is the first one that ever called me out to a specific location. So did you start receiving blackmail letters after the incident? Yes, just a few days after the Tear of Emanon heist. The first letter, it said, I know you did it. So someone found out about your true identity just like that? Ah, it's not easy being a master thief, you know. I've got proof that it was you, so give up, it went on to say. In the end, I had to give up the treasure I went through all that trouble to steal. That's right. Hey, hang on a second. What do you mean you had to give it up? Oh, don't worry. After I put the jewel in the safe deposit box... the letter specified, someone sent me 10 grand. No one said anything about being worried. After that, I started getting the plans by the mail. Plans? Oh my goodness. So... was Bullard planning these heists? The first thing he got was 10 grand. That's 10% of the 100,000 there for the Tear of Emanon jewel. Did he perhaps get 15 grand when he stole the crown of Bongora? Did he get 24 grand when he sold the left hand of Hades? What's interesting is the portrait. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, because he's giving up the treasures, right? If the first few times he was told to go put the treasure in a safe deposit box, then he gets 10% of the take off of it as incentive to keep doing this, including plans of the security layouts of all these places so he can go and get the actual stuff. This one tells him to come and bring 50 grand, which would be 10% of the value of the actual painting. The detective apparently found the painting and returned it. In return, he got a jewel as a reward. This guy says, if you don't, I'll take the red diamond you received the other day instead. Well, the detective had a big red stone on his ring. I pointed this out earlier. So, what if he's now saying, you owe me 50 grand because, you know, because of what happened with the last one. You owe me that money. And if you don't, then give me the money back. You know, give me that jewel that you got. He must think that Ron was the one who returned the painting. Maybe, I don't know. It's thin, but let's just see what it says when we talk about this. What are the plans you're talking about? There were instructions on how to steal a crown or painting or some other rare treasures. They showed security blind spots, escape routes, and even suggested training methods. So you mean that the ones who planned the heist wasn't you? No, it wasn't. I only planned the very first one. After that, I received plans from a very kind person, incredibly detailed plans. Sounds like Mr. Delight is thankful to the person that was blackmailing him. Well, I mean, like I say, he was not just blackmailing him, he was fencing the goods and then sending him some of the money to be like, good boy, pat on the head. Now go and steal something else for me. So Ron Delight was Master Mask after all, but someone else is behind the thefts. Who else planned them all out in detail? All I had to do was deposit the treasures I stole into a safe deposit box. Then I just waited for the cash to come in the mail. Could you try not to look so gleeful about it? So you went after the sacred urn because of those plans too? Well, see, the truth is I've never seen the urn. All I did was follow the instructions and steal what I was told to steal. Mr. Delight, is everything you've just told me the truth? Yes, but please don't tell Desi, okay? Second time Stoney was stealing directed by blackmail letters. Before we go on, there's one more thing I want to ask you. Yes, but please don't hurt me. Mr. Kane Bullard, do you swear that it wasn't you who killed him? Yes, of course. I could never. I'm not lying. All I did was hide his body in the safe. But then I was afraid to discover they'd discover what I did, so I turned myself in yesterday. Why? Well, if the judge had ruled that I was guilty of robbery, then I'd have an alibi, right? I wondered if that's why he was so insistent on going down for the robbery. I guess so. You're really clever, Mr. Delight. I guess I have no choice but to take Mr. Delight at his word. Mystic Maya! Hey, Pearly! I'm back! Hey, Pearls. So, what have you been up to this whole time? Oh yeah, he's smarter than the average bear, it seems. Sacred urn, Mr. Nick. I took it back to Korean village to have it examined. And what did you find out? Well, there's no need to worry. They said that it's the real urn. Did it come with a certificate of authenticity? We could use that. Ooh, that's a relief. I was really worried. But there's one small problem. Oh? Nani? The cute little pink splotches, they said it's paint. And that they were put on the urn recently. Why are we talking about pink splotches again? What's the big deal? What's the big deal? We've got to find out how they got there. That's the big deal. Yeah, Mr. Nick, we've got to find out how they got there. Okay. We'll find out how they got there. Please don't forget about me. Somebody plays Simple Minds in the background. Don't you forget about me. Okay, right, we've got the item back for the sacred urn. Excellent. So let me present this to him first and see what he says. That's kind of strange. What is? Up until now, Master Mask has gone after famous works of art or treasure. Why did he suddenly decide to steal a plain-looking urn that nobody would want? Close your ears, Maya. You make it sound like you had nothing to do with the theft. Well, it wasn't me that chose to steal this urn. So was the urn actually the target then anyway? Not the sword? Why would the sword have been at the office? Mr. Delight, are you absolutely sure about the testimony? When you stole the treasures that you were directed by a series of blackmail letters. Yes, and I got the money for them in return. It seemed like a good deal. He doesn't look like he's lying. How do you explain Detective Atmay's crazy confession? Well, I mean, obviously he did steal the urn. That's why. The buzzer went off just once around the time Bullard was killed. That's scary. Okay, yeah. Already gone with that. Ruin this man's whole day. No, let's not. I'm not gonna do that. But look, he testified to us that he is the thief. Oh my god, I hate that guy. Where's the frigging thingy place? Exhibition hall, there we go. Basement warehouse. Oh, Pearl, how nice to see you. Hello there. I haven't seen you around lately. What have you been up to? Well, actually, I was having this urn examined. Oh, I see. She's like, oh no, they're gonna find out I broke it. Maybe if we take another good look at this urn. Yeah, Adrian's like, oh shit. We can figure out the mystery of what actually happened here. Nick, let's look around one more time. Alright, so we have the box. There's something about it bothering me. Is it the pink paint, finally? Are you going to think about this? That's the box the sacred urn was in. It looks like there's some pink paint on it too. And it's definitely the same colour with the stuff on the urn. I think I know how the paint got on now. Alright, let's investigate now, Nick. The urn box added to the court record. The urn box has sacred urn and it has pink paint stains on it. Looks to me like it's been dry for several days. There's something suspicious about the paint mark. The bottom left part is shaped oddly and it's shockingly pink. Could it be that this odd shape is? Yeah. Pretty sure this is it. This is like something we figured out last stream. That's the box the sacred urn was in. If you look here, there's a little bit of paint on the box as well. Wow, you're right. Look, it matches. What is it, Mr. Nick? This is all turning out exactly as I thought it would. And she's like, oh damn. Completely dry, the box of the sacred urn fits in the gap perfectly. I think it's all starting to become clear. We're that much closer to solving the mystery of what happened to the urn. Then, can we finally examine this paint can? No. No clues here. It's supposed to say hamburger. Already been through all this before. She's got food on the brain. Okay. Well, maybe now, after we take anti-crash precautions, we'll try and break those psyche locks. You're going down this time. I know you broke this urn, and you put it back together perfectly because you're so perfect. Ms. Andrews, do you know anything about the urn? How would I know anything? Blah, 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 blah. It was at court, and then, no, it can't be the same. It must be a fake. You're the one who said so. Do you have any evidence the urn showed up in court was genuine? Yes. Boom. Sorry to break it to you, but the urn is the genuine article. Pearl went back to Crayon Village and had it examined. Is that right? That's nice, but I don't see how. What she discovered was that the urn had been broken again. Did you say again? She didn't discover that, actually, just the paint was on it. Yes, it was broken once a year ago, and now it looks like the same thing has happened. And quite recently, too. Recently? Are you saying that this urn was broken recently? That's exactly what I'm saying. Why do you think it was broken recently? How do you know? Because the paint has been dry for a few days. It really was, yeah, we saw that and we were like, oh look, paint, the urn might have been here. And yeah. So, Mr. Wright, huh? Why do you think it was broken recently again? Oh, well, because I just think so. Oh, no, I know what this is now. I'll take that hit. I'm done. Well, it was broken recently. Come on, you know it. I'm not willing to yield to you on this point. Get a grip, please, now. I'll ask you one more time, Mr. Wright. Why do you think it was broken recently? How do you know? It's probably the original exhibition picture because of the sequence. Instead of it being I am, because Pearl's put it together wrong, it's back to being Amy. This poster, it was made recently, right? Poster? Oh, the poster for the exhibit. At the time when this photo was taken, the urn said I am on it. But now, for some mysterious reason, it says Amy. When the urn was fixed, the letters were transposed. I am? What does that even mean? I don't know anything about that. Oh, you know, it's like, you know, the phase. They got into the rap phase, like I said earlier, and instead like Will I Am, but instead it was, you know, Faye I Am. I wasn't even there when the photo for this poster was taken. That was a mistake. Now, tell the truth. Wait. For... Even if the urn was broken, I had nothing to do with it. I never said you did. Yes, that's it. It must have been one of the people at the photo shoot. They probably dropped it. I'm sure that's what happened. It looks like she's not going to give up that last psyche lock so easily. Do you have any proof that the urn was broken here at Lordly Taylor? Yes. Paint stain. Oh, Miss Andrews? What is this supposed to mean? There's pink paint all over this urn. And there's pink paint all over the floor and the walls of the basement warehouse. In other words, the urn was broken here. You can't weasel out of this one, Miss Andrews. But... Uh-oh, she's trying to make her escape. You can't get pink paint... Well, you can get pink paint anywhere. Well, there's none in my office, that's for sure. Well, there is in my room. Liar. Anyway, paint on the urn and paint on the floor, there's no proof that it's the same paint. Come on, this is getting ridiculous. The proof linking the paint to the urn and the paint to the floor is the paint on the box. That's the only thing I've got left to click. This box. The urn was stored in it, right? Yes, that's right. There's pink paint on the box as well. I think you already know where I'm going with this, don't you? Yes, more or less. The paint on the floor has an odd shape imprinted in it, doesn't it? Yes. If you put this box into the impression, into the paint, you can see it fits perfectly. Which means the box was dropped right over there. And that is when the urn was broken. The name does you justice, Mr. Wright. What, Phoenix? Or the Ace Attorney thing. She probably meant the Ace Attorney thing. But bam! Now tell me everything. I'm so sorry, I was the one who broke the urn. Boy, does this make me feel like some sort of evil school teacher. Detention! I'm a terrible person. Not only did I break it, but I tried to hide what I did. Well, that's not so hard to understand, is it, Pearly? No, not at all. I know just how she feels. Oh, yes, she does. It happened about 2 weeks ago, just after the poster photo was taken, on the same day the urn arrived here. I thought I'd put it away down here for safekeeping. I was carrying it in the box. I tripped on the paint can and lost my balance. The box I was carrying crashed to the ground. Crash. I heard a terrible noise and I thought my heart was going to stop. Fearing the worst, I opened the lid of the box and that's when it happened. Oh, the bits fell out onto the paint splashes. I wondered, I thought if it was closed, how did the urn get paint on it? The broken pieces of the urn fell out in the box and landed on the paint. I was in shock. I let out a huge scream. Just trying so hard not to get fired. I can totally see how that could have happened. Yeah, as clumsy as she is, I'm sure Maya understands. Well, I knew it was the most important treasure in all of Karayan Village, so I tried hard as I could to fix it. Fortunately, the shards were pretty big. And that's when the I am got changed to Amy. Or changed back to, in this case. I didn't know how it was originally written. Any sane person fixing it would have assumed it said Amy. Don't listen to her, Pearls. Oh, poor Pearls. She's like, I'm just a kid, though. Any sane person, really? Because for anyone that missed the, like, introduction to Pearls in the beginning of Game 2, this urn was part of a whole case where we proved a sequence of events. It turned out that she broke the urn, and originally it said Amy on it, but since she's a kid, she put it back together as I am. And while we were trying to coax this information out to help prove our case, and got her to finally confess to it, you know, that's what she was like, oh, I didn't know how to spell it, so yeah, she put it together wrong. And we promised to never tell anybody, so she's still carrying that guilt, poor kid. But hey, it's back in one piece now. She should be happy. Oh, Pearls. Look at her, poor thing. She said she wasn't very good at spelling. Anyway, I put the urn into the storeroom and no one had seen it since then. Okay. Broken and repaired by Adrian Andrews 2 weeks ago, replaced in its box, kept out of sight. There's something I don't get. When we first came here, I didn't see any paint stains. Yeah, but the statue was in the way. It was so ugly and I was so embarrassed. I used the golden statue to cover it up. The Amy Faye statue. Ah. The first time that we came down here, it was on the night that the sacred urn was stolen. But Mr. Nick, the statue was all the way over there, look, covering up the paint stain. There were no paint marks on the walls or floor of the warehouse when we were here. Well, there's a good reason for that. On the day of the crime around noon, that golden statue just happened to arrive from the mountain training hall. And I realised that the statue would be the perfect size for covering up the paint stains. That's why I put it there when where you first saw it. I see, now it makes perfect sense. There's still one thing I find strange. What is it, Pearl? The day after the urn was stolen, we came here again. And that time the statue had been moved and the paint was clearly visible. Right about that? Well, Miss Andrews? Huh? What? I don't know anything about that. I placed it to cover the paint, so why would I move it again? Well then, who was it? Who would have done it and why? On the day before the theft, the statue was definitely closer to the door. We're finally getting round to this and figuring out why it matters. The next day it was moved, but why? I always assumed it just got knocked out of the way in the fight, but since we know there was no fight here, why? Looks like there's some connection between the sacred urn and the murder case. Why? Why do you think so, Nick? Because that night the real thief, Ron DeLight, was at KB Security. Then why did another masked demask show up here? A lot of different things are pointing to one undeniable fact. One undeniable fact? The murder trial is starting tomorrow, but it looks like that thief is going to be making another appearance. Cool. So I'm wondering then, because the silhouette we saw when Ron was recounting the tale of getting hit when he came into the CEO's office and getting knocked out, he said he saw the silhouette and it looked like, what's his name? Like Atme. If that happened around 1, then that couldn't have been Atme in the outfit, right? Mind equals blown. Hey Nick, what is it this time? You won't believe how many people are here for the trial. Well, it's a murder case. What are you talking about? They're here for the trial next door. Annie? Next door? Why don't you know this, Nick? They're having a Detective Atmay's trial today. Really? Detective Atmay? They say they're going to try him as Master Mask. Gee, that was fast. Boy, I'd love to see Master Mask's trial. I know. By the way, where's Pearls? Oh, she went back home. She said she can't neglect her training anymore. I know you don't like me. Satan, could you please wait? I'm having a conversation, thank you. Pearls has really gotten into her training lately, her. Yeah, ever since the incident last year. Please don't ignore me! Oh, it's you. Okay. I thought you were somebody else I have other appointments with later. Oh, Mr. Delight, good morning. May I say what a delight it is to see you. I have been waiting to use that somewhere. But I'd go with that. No one likes me. No one would notice me, not even if I killed someone. Cringe! Oh, come on, don't be silly. Wait a sec. Oh, come on, you guys know you come here for this. You don't mean you're the murderer? No, no, just a poor thief. No, wait, that's not right. A thief can't really be poor. I mean, you can if you have to give your treasure away, but... Now, let's see. According to Mr. Delight, from his second crime on, he was following a bunch of set plans. Plans that someone had been sending him to help him commit the heists. Do you really think there's a connection between the thief and the murder, Nick? It's possible, but today's trial is a race against the clock. Huh? How come? Let's just take our time like always. I'm afraid that's not an option. Hmm? Because we've now got to prove that he is the thief. In order to stop Atmay from being tried as the thief, but to prove that he's innocent. Oh god, why? Oh, well, look who it is. It's Godot. You'd think he would be trying the murder case. I bet Edgeworth's doing the murder case. Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Ron Delight. The defense is ready, Your Honor. You're ready? Preparation is the last refuge of the weak. Judge is like, cool. Let's just get on with this. Settle down, everyone. Let's begin with your opening statement, Mr. Godot. He's got the judge in the palm of his hands yet again. Ron Delight is simply too young to be sent to war, that's all. I'm afraid I have no idea what that means, Mr. Godot. Then you need to get out more, Your Honor. Life is war, but that is exactly what you must... that is exactly why you must be more precise in your wording. There's the Joe. That's all my statement means. You understand now, right? Yes, well then, let me briefly summarize the details of the case. Oh wow, the judge is taking charge like he knows what's going on for a change. The victim is Kane Bullard, CEO of KB Security. His body was found in a safe approximately 9 AM on the morning of the 13th. However, the time of death was estimated as 1 AM the previous day. And that's when our little lost kitten dropped the ball. That little lost kitten is, of course, the defendant. Very well then, Mr. Godot, please call your first witness. I never drink more than 17 cups of coffee during any given trial. Wow, that's so low. Really? How are you even awake still? But the first one is always the best. Mr. Godot, your witness? Give the man a chance to drink his coffee, Jesus. Okay then, let's hear what the defendant, Mr. Ron Delight, has to say for himself. The defendant? Well, Mr. Wright, does the defense have any objections? It may be a bit of a disadvantage having the defendant testify, but... I remember when Mia was defending me, she allowed me to testify so she could do the cross-examination. But that was because it was a tutorial, Nick. She put a lot of trust in me back then. How does he manage to drink that much coffee? Yeah, and not vibrate through time afterwards. You've seen that Futurama episode with Fry when he drinks 100 cups of coffee? Ooh. Yeah. We have no objections, Your Honor. The defense will allow Mr. Delight to testify. Huh. You've got big guts, Trite. Alright then, Mr. Ron Delight, please take the stand. You did it, didn't you? Yes. What? No. That's not true. Fucking Ron! Oh, you're killing me here, bro. For a moment there, I thought we set the record for the shortest trial ever. Damn. Well, Mr. Delight really looks plenty guilty with the face he's making. Once he opens his big mouth, he'll probably put the nail in his own coffin. Very well. Now then, can you tell me something? If you didn't kill Bullard, why did you go to KB Security? Well, that's kind of hard to say. Boy, I wish I could go home. Now then, let's hear some testimony about what happened. That evening around 1 AM, I went to see Mr. Bullard in his office at KB Security. The blackmail letter I got, it ordered me to go there. I'd been working for KB Security until a year ago, so I knew where his office was. 1 AM, the exact time the murder took place. There's the second cup. Are we keeping track of these? I should bring the death counter back just to track this guy's coffee cups. The weak get washed away by the tides of fate. The strong drink is up. Huh. It's bitter today, too, just like my destiny. You never know from the way he's chugging it down. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, if you please. Let's see Bullard in the office. 1 AM, huh? You're absolutely sure about that? Yes, that's what my watch said when I was entering the CEO's office. No, actually, I'm not really sure. My watch was slow and my internal clock was also a bit... He doesn't pee, yeah. That's it. 1 AM. That's the exact time the victim, Mr. Bullard, was murdered, correct? It's too late for a coffee date, that's for sure. If anybody knows about coffee, it's that guy. The blackmail letter I got ordered me to go there. It ordered you there? It was the first time I'd gotten a blackmail letter that ordered me to go somewhere. Does that mean you've gotten other blackmail letters then? Of course. They say, oh, hold it. Why don't you save those for later, Mr. Delight? Please don't say any more, shut up. Now, what should I do? Press harder anyway, fuck it. What did the blackmail letter in question say? It said to bring 50 grand. Money, huh? A perfect motive for committing a murder. Oh, but well, wait! I never intend to pay the money anyway. Well, that makes it sound even more like you killed him. Oh, is that right? After all, he had nothing to hold over my head. I had nothing to be afraid of. An important point indeed. Witness, let's have that added to your testimony. Yes, sir. Huh. Weirded out by how much you like the shading and light in Ron's face. His eyes are so pretty and round. A muddy mudskipper in outer space has a better chance of surviving than I do. So the blackmail ordered him to go there. The blackmail letter didn't scare me. I wasn't going to cause me trouble or anything. Just what were you being blackmailed about anyway? The blackmail letter said if you don't want your identity revealed, correct? I'm sure it was referring to the whole mask to mask thing. But I wasn't worried. Mr. Bullard didn't have anything on me. He didn't? Anyway, I don't care what anyone says about me. Just as long as Desi believes me. That's why Mr. Light didn't believe he was Master Mask. That's why I knew they were just hollow threats, and yet he gave in to the first few. But this time he's like, I'm not even paying. I don't, you know, you don't know anything. You got nothing. What you got? You got nothing. I'd been working for KB Security until a year ago, so I knew where his office was. You used to be a security guard for KB Security, right? Yes, that's right. A security chief. Sorry, not guard. And yet, a year ago, you were fired without notice? Revenge for an old grudge, a perfect motive for murder, wouldn't you say? This isn't good. Maybe I should change the subject. Life after being fired. Why was he fired? Don't say anything. Why? Mr. Delight, please tell us why you were fired from your job. Well... The world is filled with those who have said, I wish I had never asked that. Okay, I take it. Defendant, please answer the question. Well, I needed money. You needed money. Well, you see, Desi loves to spend it. It's kind of a hobby. Not exactly the best hobby in the world, huh, Nick? Well, I don't know. My salary wasn't nearly enough, so I stole data from the company. Come again. This is something we should have probably asked him before the trial, right? KB Security has lots of security info on all sorts of companies. Since it was a security team chief, you stole some data and sold it. Mr. Bullard found out and I was fired immediately. What? I wish I had never asked that. I was somehow able to keep it secret. I've made it seem like I had quit on my own. What is it, Nick? You don't look so good. Someone who brings harm to their company is fired as punishment. You do well to remember that. He sure told you. So, you admit that you stole data from your company, is that correct? Yes, I'm sorry. This is a very important fact, please add it to your testimony. Oh man, this whole thing just took a big turn for the worse, crashed and blew up. It's gonna take the jaws of life to rip this case from the clutches of disaster. Let's see what else that other option said. You used to be a chief. You were fired. Oh, we can't go back and pick the other thing. Interesting. It might not have led to anything then. Why would you do something like that? Well, for Desi's hobby. What else? Wasting money, huh? It's not a waste. So Mr. Light doesn't know that her husband was fired, does she? So it would seem. I'm not sure what to think about couples who keep secrets from each other. Can't believe it. This case has gotten even Maya to think seriously about couples. Please try to stay focused, Mr. Wright. There wasn't much in his testimony, was there? Sounds like he's avoiding something, at least that's what it sounds like to me. Oh, I've got a bad feeling about this. We better be careful. If we don't find a way to make him spill the beans, we'll never get closer to the truth. Yeah. Was it this one that we got a little... Let's reread this. What were you being blackmailed about? Your identity, referring to the whole Master Mask thing. Oh. This is different. I'm afraid that reason isn't going to hold up anymore. What do you mean? The victim had no proof the defendant was Master Mask. But you were the one who stole the company secrets only 1 year earlier. But that was all over with once I was fired. But it's true that the fact I stole secrets was kept under wraps. Even so, there was no reason for me to pay up now, a whole year later. Is that really true? What is it, Nick? The fact that Ron was stealing company data, I wonder if he would have had a problem if it ever became public knowledge. Yes, he would, because his wife doesn't like criminals. Mr. Delight, I believe you would have been in considerable trouble if your identity as a company data thief was made public. Mr. Wright, what are you trying to do by bullying your own client? Men are like colonies of bacteria. The more heat you apply, the faster they grow. What? That's exactly right. Well then, feel free to keep up the heat, my little lawyer amigo. Little lawyer amigo. Incoming coffee. Oh. Come now. Provide some evidence to back up your assertion. Here it is. Why would Mr. Delight want to keep his data stealing secrets from going public? Hates criminals more than anything, and cowards. Mr. Delight, what you said just now doesn't match what you told me yesterday. Huh? What doesn't? I think you must have been scared, very scared, of having a certain person find out your secret. Nope. A certain person? Miss Desiree Delight, defendant's wife. Wow, but listen to me, my Desi, she's... Looks as if it's, it looks like if I just sit back and relax, the fun will end before it truly begins. Oh, God damn you, Godot. Yes, we know. It was all your wife's fault. What do you mean? Mr. Delight stole company data to pay for his wife's spending habits, for which he was fired. Unable to face his own wife, someone used his dirty little secret to blackmail him. And that's how this murder came about. Oh, No, everything is falling neatly into place for him. Don't talk about my Desi like that. Or you'll be sorry! God, he's gonna go into a rage. Well, it seems we've learned a great deal of things here so far. What do you think, Nick? I think we're screwed. I didn't think it was possible to get so thoroughly whipped in just 20 minutes. Clearly there was sufficient motive for the murder. He stole data for his wife, and he killed to protect the secret. A family man who cared just a little too much. Oh, God. The motive is clear. Let's move on. Ugh. What happened at the crime scene at 1 in the morning, Mr. Delight? Come now, tell us. We're all ears. When I entered the office, there was a suspicious shadow there. See, it looks like... what's his face? Like Atme. Suddenly I was hit on the forehead. After that, I remember being a bit dazed. If I hadn't been wearing that, I could have been killed. Wearing what? When I came to, Mr. Bullard was lying there, dead. I see, suddenly hit on the forehead, huh? I believe the detective from yesterday provided similar testimony. He said that Master Mass struck him on the head from behind. Of course, since Atme turned out to be the culprit himself, that was all a lie. Huh. No one's going to believe a pathetic lie like that. What are you saying? I really was attacked. We'll find out if what you say is true or not during the cross-examination. Got that, Mr. Trite? Don't go easy just because he's your client. There's the 4th or 5th cup of coffee. If I see any sign that you are, I'll treat you to another cup of my special blend. You don't need to worry about that, Mr. Godot. I have faith in Ron. I know he didn't do it. Okay, suspicious shadow. The thing is, the boss might have already been dead by that point. Who was this suspicious shadow? If there were 1,000 of me and even one knew, I'd tell you, trust me. His dodging of all our questions is not helping with the case. Okay then, how was the victim, Mr. Bullard, at that time? What do you mean by how was he? Was he already dead? Was he still alive? Maybe he was the one who hit you in the first place. That's a good question. What do you think, Mr. Wright? Forget it. Hit on the forehead. Remember being a bit dazed. So he was wearing his mask, so he went there completely dressed up as Mask the Mask. So Detective Atmay found an outfit. From like the first caper. That's what Ron told us. He found it in the plastic box while Ron was running around dressed as a security guard. By now he was already, you know, fired from work, so he was using his old outfit as a way of looking like a security guard. But I bet he didn't have a mask. And I bet he took Ron's mask and used it for this robbery. But all this kind of happened at the same time. I don't know. This still isn't making much sense to me yet. Right, your forehead? Yes, I was hit on the forehead as soon as I entered the room. It was an amazingly fast and powerful attack. Do you remember anything about who hit you? Well, like I said, it was fast and a powerful hit, so I think I was a little dazed for a while. I don't think Mr. Delight even grasped what you're asking. Yeah, I'd like to show him fast and powerful attack myself. Maybe that would knock some sense back into him. If I hadn't been wearing that, I could have been killed, so he'll be talking about his mask. That? Could you please clarify what you're referring to? Why, my Mask the Mask costume, of course. Wait just a moment. Mask the Mask? Oh, did I forget to mention it before? Just to be on the safe side, I dressed up as Mask the Mask. And then I descend upon the office of the security of... on the CEO of KB Security. What? Nick, did you know about this? He never told me this. I don't recall him ever mentioning it to me either. Even I didn't know that. Seems our little friend really loves to keep secrets. I'm sorry, I just never had a chance to mention it up until now. You had plenty of chances. Wait, that's not right. You know how sometimes things just slip your mind. Huh. My 6th cup of coffee is staring up at me coldly. At any rate, we can't ignore this new piece of information. Witness, correct your testimony. Okay, he could have been killed if he wasn't wearing his costume. Why were you dressed up as Mask the Mask? Why? Because I am Mask the Mask, of course. What are you talking about? Master Mask's trial is being held next door. Yes, I guess so. Anyway, at that time, I thought I was being blackmailed over the Master Mask issue. So I thought I should go as him just to be safe. Oh boy. Let me tell you, it's a real pain to move around with that cape. That's why it took a lot longer than I expected. Took a lot longer? What's he talking about? What do you mean took a lot longer? Oh, opening the safe, of course. My cape got caught on the safe door, you see. This all happened when I was hiding Mr. Bullard's body. Ah! My new pot is very nice. I managed not to blow up or flood the kitchen today. Yes! Excellent. I'm glad it's working out well. What was that? Back up for a second. Yes? You were the one that hid the body in the safe? Well, yeah. Inconceivable! Why? Just why? What reason could you have? What were you thinking? Question. When does someone toss their dirty shorts in the washing machine? The what? The answer is simple. When they take them off. Okay. I don't know if I should hit the drum snare right now. Was that meant to be a joke or what? What do you mean by that, Mr. Delight? Hid the body because he's the murderer? Huh. You're not as stupid as you look. His metaphor this time was really obscure. Mr. Wright, you don't mean that you knew about this whole safe business, do you? Well, yes. Why am I the only one not here in the loop here? Witness, make sure you add this to the testimony. Yes, sir. Oh, looks like a storm front is moving in over the fair weather judge. I panicked and hid the body in the safe. It took about 10 minutes. That just skipped right over this one. When you came to? Yes, I was passed out in the corner of the room. Do you know where your assailant made their escape and where and to where? I'm afraid I don't really remember. Once they hit me, I lost track of what was going on. I think that's when they made their escape. Ah, that's certainly a convenient story for you, isn't it? It certainly is, isn't it, Mr. Wright? It almost sounds practiced. I don't know what you're telling me. Panicked and hid in the safe. Hid the body in the safe. Why did you hide the body in the safe anyway? Well, because it wouldn't fit in a drawer. That's not exactly what I meant. When I saw the corpse, I kind of lost it. I thought, if they find his corpse, they'll think I did it. Huh. I think you had a simpler reason than that. It's because you killed him. That's why you spent 10 minutes hiding a body. That certainly makes more sense. Hold on. 10 minutes? What is it, Nick? I just had a thought. Under those circumstances, why would you normally try to hide the body and spend a whole 10 minutes doing it? Under those circumstances? What circumstances? Oh. Hey, Nick. If you think his behavior was so strange, why don't you present some evidence? What would show just what those circumstances were? They're talking about the buzzer. The buzzer went off at like 2 minutes past 1. But Larry wasn't there to respond. He fucked off to go goof off work. So, but the guy wouldn't know that, right? If the buzzer was, I mean, we heard the buzzer in the room when Maya pushed the button. He would have heard it too, and they've been like, I'm getting out of here. Like, why would the buzzer be going off like that? I guess the buzzer was pressed by the assailant to then frame what's-his-face, frame Ron. And they were expecting to find him there with a dead body. And dressed up like Master Mass to boot. Why don't we present some evidence that would show just what those circumstances were? Take a look at the court record and present some evidence. We heard this from Mr. Delight yesterday, didn't we? There's not much in the testimony either. I bet you he's still hiding something. I wouldn't be surprised, we'll just have to draw it out of him. I just hope he doesn't make things more complicated like he's been doing all the time. So let's have a look. That's Ron's testimony. He was stealing as directed by blackmail letters. This one here, the buzzer went off once at 1:02 AM. And yet he spent 10 minutes hiding a body while the buzzer was going off. It's connected to the security guard's office, and as the chief, he would know that. You know, as one of the security chiefs, he would have known exactly how this worked. So, we will counter that with the buzzer record. Objection! Your Honor, could you please take a look at this record? And what might this be? The record for the emergency buzzer that connects to the CEO's office to security. If the button in the office is pressed, the security team is supposed to come running. And according to this record, the buzzer was pushed once at 1:02 AM. What? If Mr. Ron Delight truly was the murderer, he would have ran as soon as that buzzer sounded. After all, the security guard would have been heading his way. Let's remember who we're dealing with here. He probably had no idea there were security personnel in the building. They would. Up until 1 year ago, my client was working as a chief of security. There's no way he wouldn't have known about that. But as it turns out, the guard never came. That was nothing more than a coincidence. The fact that the guard was a pathetic loser, oh damn savage, who had just gotten punched in the face by his ex's new boyfriend, and wasn't anywhere in the vicinity was not something Mr. Delight could have known. Again, remember who we're dealing with here. It's a sure bet that Mr. Delight didn't even notice the buzzer going off. Oh, there's some frigging objections going on. Hell yes, I like this. This buzzer is extremely loud. There's no way he could have ignored something like that. If he had been conscious, that is. Conscious? What do you mean by that? There's that coffee. Like the 7th cup now. Fine, let's hear your theory. Pilgrim. Recall the defendant's testimony. The moment he entered the victim's office, someone attacked him. Mr. Delight said he felt dazed. I'm willing to wager that he was knocked unconscious for a few minutes. Unconscious? So he fainted? That's why Mr. Delight didn't know that the buzzer had sounded. And that's why he thought he had time to hide the body. Yeah, because when he came to, finally, the buzzer might have stopped. So, what are you trying to say? Mr. Delight was knocked out, and the buzzer went off soon after. Now, unless my client was able to hit the buzzer while he was unconscious, it can only mean that there was another person in the room. That's right, whoever it was, they knocked out Ron Delight and pressed the buzzer. Finally going our way. Order in the court, Mr. Wright. This is crazy, I know. Go with it, Judge. This is preposterous. It was this kid, Ron Delight, is the one who killed Cain Bullard. Then who pressed the buzzer? It was the victim, of course. He pressed the buzzer when the defendant attacked him. He didn't die right away. He must have held on long enough to push that button. So Cain Bullard sounded the buzzer himself. What's your opinion on this, Mr. Wright? Not possible. Guy didn't have gloves on and there's no fingerprints on the button. I need to prove that the real criminal was there at the scene, but how? I can prove that it wasn't Cain Bullard. Oh, can I prove that it wasn't Cain Bullard who sounded the buzzer? I can. The defense's opinion is this, Your Honor. This piece of evidence proves that it wasn't the victim who sounded the buzzer. It's the buzzer itself. As it said on there, there are no fingerprints on it. I believe this is the piece of incontrovertible evidence you were looking for. The emergency buzzer. Is there some kind of clue on it? Actually, there isn't. There's no clues on it. Objection! Overruled. Absolutely not. Hey, come on now. At least give some thought to what you were going to say before you open your mouth. The fact that there are absolutely no clues is itself the clue. Now I'm the one who's clueless. This button has no fingerprints on it. If Mr. Bullard had really pressed it himself, naturally he would have left his fingerprints behind. There's that spit take. Ron Delight obviously wiped them off. Why would he? A guard would have come in at any moment. He touched that button, I know he did. The defendant, Mr. Delight, was dressed as Mask de Mask. A Mask de Mask always wears gloves. What reason could he have had to wipe the button free of fingerprints? Order! Order! It would seem I'm on coffee cup number 9. I've been forced to eat crow. Objuton. I wonder what blend number coffee, what blend number crow flavored coffee is. However, if the real killer was there at the scene, why would that person press the emergency buzzer? Stream keeps buffering all of a sudden. Oh no! Twitch has been having some weird issues. Shouldn't they have run away without putting themselves in extra danger? What's with the awkward silence all of a sudden? Huh. It looks like you're fresh out of parlor tricks. They're on to you, Nick. Just give me a minute to collect my thoughts. The real culprit killed Mr. Bullard around 1 AM. And Mr. Delight just happened to waltz in when the murder was taking place, right? The killer clobbered Mr. Delight and then sounded the buzzer. Even though security was supposed to respond right away if the buzzer was pressed, security was supposed to respond? Kind of the point, wasn't it? Time's up, Mr. Wright. Let's hear what you have to say. Very well then. Oh ho, you've got some guts. I like that in an opponent. Why did the real killer sound the emergency buzzer? To find out what it did. It was a big red button. He couldn't help himself. Did they mean to? I mean, obviously it was to call security. Here's what I think. I think the person in there was Atme with the sword from the museum. He'd already left long ago. Don't know why he was there at the security building. We need to figure that out. But he was obviously either in on this with the security guy, with Bullard. They had a disagreement and he killed Bullard by hitting him with the sword. And then he used that sword to hit Ron when he showed up. He didn't know Ron was going to be there. So, for whatever reason that happened, he then realized, holy shit, the mask is right here. You know, like, this is my golden moment. Hit the emergency button and ran back to go stage the robbery part of things. I don't know. Maybe. But he was going to call security. Same way I'm going to call the save fairy. The killer knew that if they pressed that button, a guard would come running. And that was exactly what they wanted. Do you mean to say the killer called the guard on purpose? Yes, although as it turned out he never showed up, because he was getting his clock cleaned at the time. Huh, what a touching story. You're saying the killer had a change of heart and called the guard to turn himself in? No, the killer wasn't there, obviously. He wanted Ron to get caught. No, I'm not. When that buzzer sounded, there were 3 people in the office. The victim, Kane Bullard, who was already dead. The defendant, Ron Delight, who was out cold. And the third person, the real killer, whose silhouettes looked suspiciously like Atme. They really should have just done like a blurred thing until they were ready to reveal this. It's just too obvious. Hypothetically, yes. Now then, in this situation, if the real killer made an escape, what would happen? The only one left in the room would be the victim and Ron Delight. And if any security guards came running at that time, they would think that I was the murderer. Yes, that's precisely the real killer's objective. To frame Ron Delight for the murder. I love when he does that. He's just like, one moment. Spit take. That's so good. I love when he does that. This guy is my favorite prosecutor. Order, order. Although Mr. Von Karma was actually pretty good as well. Huh. It would seem I've been made to eat my words once again. Actually, you've been made to do a spit take with a cup of coffee. Mr. Wright, who was it? Who was it that tried to frame me? Wait. Wait a second. I'm the one and only Master Mask. Nick, you mean the real killer is... I'm going to drag that person in here right now. But who is it? I don't have any solid proof yet, but think about it. The killer knew Mr. Delight's identity. They also knew that if he had been called to KB security that night, so the killer used him to execute a well-crafted plan to murder Kane Bullard. That's it, no wonder he gets through 17 coffees in a trial. He spits most of it on the ground. Such a waste, I know, right? Criminal. Now then, let's hear your accusation, Mr. Wright. Who was it that framed Ron Delight for the murder of Kane Bullard? Fucking Larry Butts. No. Obviously Luke Atmey. Come on. I mean, did Luke Atmey actually know anything about Ron? Would he have known? Actually, yeah, because he told us about the green envelope in his apartment. He already knew about it. Before. He told us about that before Ron turned himself in. We were right at the beginning of this thing. At least I think. I don't know, actually, no, because then he wouldn't have told us about it. Yeah, okay, so... Anyway. Detective Luke Atmey. He's the only one who could have done it. Ace Detective Luke Atmey? You mean Master Mask did it? Your Honor, the person being tried in the court next to us is not Master Mask at all. He is, in actuality, the true murderer of Kane Bullard. And he's dodging his murder sentence by allowing himself to be framed as Master Mask. Order, order, Mr. Wright, explain yourself. Theft and murder? Which is the more serious crime? They're not even close. Murder is the more serious crime, of course. It's a capital crime subject to the capital punishment. Please remember the trial from yesterday if you would. When Luke Atmey confessed, there was a huge commotion in the courtroom. Of course, a famous detective was unmasked as, well, Master Mask. Instead of being convicted of murder, he was found guilty of grand larceny. That's his true objective all along. Be found guilty? Master Mask had the perfect alibi for when the murder took place. He was stealing the urn at the Lordly Tailor. In other words, being found guilty as Master Mask was Luke Atmey's airtight, watertight and unassailable alibi. A guilty verdict? As an alibi? Pretty cool. You know, it's almost time. Or what? Oh, I was thinking another cup I was going to get out of its way then. For Luke Atmey's verdict. It was a pretty simple trial after all. If we're going to stop this trial and stall that one, we need to do it now. Of course, that's assuming you have proof that the detective was the one who committed the murder. And we don't. So Luke Atmey's trial has indeed attracted the attention of the entire country. If we were to intrude and failed to provide adequate proof to the true crime, Mr. Delight would be left with no grounds for appeal. Am I really sure about this? Huh. I bet it's only good when your life's the ante. Mr. Wright, I believe in you. I believe in you, Mr. Delight. So please, I'm begging you. Thanks, but I should probably save the game. Let's have a look. Can we prove this shit? What can we do to prove it? That he actually committed the murder? I mean, who was doing this at 1 AM when the murder was happening 30 minutes away? Or are these forged? Cerebral hemorrhaging from blunt force trauma to the head, which I believe was from this sword. I think he stole the sword and took it with him. Maybe he was trying to blow the whole deal on this blackmail ring. Maybe he'd already figured that out. Because he did know about the envelope either way. And I don't think he had had time to go and see that. He must have known about the blackmail right away. But why would he take the sword with him? That's just so weird. I don't know. I don't know. My decision will determine the rest of your life. Can I really risk your life like this? Oh, here we go. Mia! Phoenix? Well, what was that? Don't stray, Phoenix. For your client, take the path of trust. That voice sounds like Mia. Your Honor, the defense requests an immediate recess. Huh. So that's your answer, huh? Very well. I've decided as well. This court will now take a 20-minute recess. Mr. Wright, when we return, please summon Mr. Luke Atmay to the stand. Yes, Your Honor. Oh God, it's pain. Oh my goodness. Well then, Sir Detective Atmay. Oh God, two guys with a nervous laugh looking at each other. This is weird. I have to say, Mr. Payne, you performed splendidly. Oh no, Sir Detective Atmay. You were the one who... Whoa, look at this guy. What the fuck? What is it about judges and these beards? Is this like his son or... Oh God, please tell me this is the judge's son. Oh, that would be amazing. That's enough. This court sees no reason to further prolong this trial. This court finds the defendant Luke Atmay. Objection! Oh, hold it! I mean, sorry. He is a relative? Oh God. Cool. Don't hand down your verdict yet, please. Well, well, Sir Lawyer, welcome to my courtroom. Who's this hoser, eh? Oh God. Oh no. Look at those eyes. Yes. It's the judge's Canadian cousin. I know that face, just the eyes like, My name is Phoenix Wright, attorney at law. I wish to file an accusation against this man, Luke Atmay. Accusation? You accuse Master the Mask? That man is not Master the Mask. He's just a ruthless murderer. What? Oh yeah, Payne would have won. Oh, that's right, Payne would have actually won this case. We just took another case from Payne. He's like, God damn you, even when it's not, when you're not in the trial, you still ruin my case. Oh, that's fantastic. Nice twists and turns right there. Oh boy. Well guys, it's about time we finish.